Now I'm back with you again. This is another day that the Lord has made. We're going to be glad and we're going to rejoice in it. We're going to give the Lord thanks and we're going to be ye thankful. We're not going to complain about the weather, how hot it is, how cold it is, whether it's raining, sunny, whatever it's doing, we're not going to complain about it because the Lord do not like murmurs. So that's why you always hear me say, be ye thankful. Now today's message, we're going to be talking about the marriage bed. Whether it is defiled or not. Now we know that the scripture said the marriage bed is not defiled. But today we're going to talk about how you can defile it. Even though the marriage bed is undefiled, the man and woman can defile it. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start with Timothy. I'm going to start with Timothy chapter 2. We're going to talk about this marriage bed. We're going to talk a little bit about marriage. I might include a little bit on divorce, whether you can do it or not. I'm probably going to say real quick, no, you cannot get divorced. I know a lot of people don't like hearing that. The scripture says you can get a divorce. You supposed to get them a bill of divorcement, but there's a lot of explanation and what need to be explained that people have not been taught about. The three parts of marriage: the marriage, the divorce. No, let's go back. The marriage, the separation, and then the divorce. See, once we explain these, then we'll be clear on whether you can get a divorce or not, and what's the consequences of getting a divorce, and where do you go from there? Because the Lord talked about it's not good for a man to be alone. But he also talked about in Matthew, the Lord talked about over here, Matthew chapter 19, if you will go with me real quickly. Chapter 19, the Lord said, this is verse 10. This Matthew chapter 19, verse 10, his disciples said unto him, if the cause of the man be so with his wife. So what they saying today, for you to listen at me, if what Mr. John is saying is true, it is not good to marry. So he is saying here in Matthew 19, chapter 10, his disciples said unto him, talking to Christ, if the cause of the man be so with his wife. So what Christ was trying to tell them about the conditions that could come up in the marriage. And they didn't like what he was saying because they felt that if the woman did certain things or was out of order or maybe even commit adultery, they felt that they could divorce her. The Lord said no. He said that won't so. He said his disciples said unto him, if the cause of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. So we need to go back and find out what were they talking about, these causes. What were these causes? You know, why we just can't get rid of her. And then they talked about what most of it was a bill of divorcement. But the Lord said what? Verse 5. This is chapter 19, verse 5. And he said, for the cause shall a man leave his mother and father, and cleave to his wife, and they shall twine become one flesh. And wherefore they are no more twine but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. So he telling you, okay, verse 7. Let's go a little farther with it so we'll be clear. They said unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffer you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was what? It won't never so. It won't never so that you could divorce your wife. He did not set up that. Why? We'll get serious with it. We'll get very serious with this. A woman, as a daughter, as a child, had her father as her covering. So he covered her, he took care of her, he provided for her. Everything his daughter needed, the father provided for her. So when another man comes about and he sees this young woman and he want to marry her, he takes the woman out from under her covering, which was her father. So that's why the Lord was so strict on this divorce and get married. Because once you take a woman from out under her covering, which was out of her father's house, you saying to the father that you are gonna provide for her all the stuff that you was doing. So everything that I do for my daughter, what you saying to me is you gonna do it. That's gonna be tough, buddy. That's gonna be very tough for you to try to do for my daughter what I do. But it can't be done. But you have to be in love. I did another sermon about when you love somebody. It's a serious message, trust me. But when you love somebody, yeah, you can do for a woman what the father would normally do for his daughter. But let's get rolling a little bit more. We're gonna go to 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 29. Let's see what's going on here, because I want to get to how the people get the marriage bed defiled. The Lord said the marriage bed is not defiled. But we're going to talk about how you can defile it. So you can't go past the command of God. Okay? 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. We're going to look at that a little bit and see what's going on, see what the Lord is talking about, and then we'll take it from there. All right, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also the woman abhorred themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array. And I added this scripture because what has this got to do with defiling yourself? Okay, cool. Verse 10. But which become women professing godliness with good works. So, what the Lord is saying here, that the woman abhorred themselves in modest apparel. So what I'm saying to you, when you start taking, let me stop real quick, because in this message, let me make this real clear real quick. In this message that I'm about to give today, there may be some sexual content. There might be some, what we call today, some X-rated content. Because we're talking about what? We're talking about marriage. We're talking about the marriage bed and what people do behind closed doors. So there's going to be some sexual content in here. There's going to be some X-rated stuff in here. So I'm just giving you a upfront notice. Now, let's get back to the message. Now, what the Lord was saying, in like manner also the woman abhorred themselves in modest apparel. So what I'm saying to you, when a man and a woman come together behind closed doors, the woman normally will take a visit downtown to the lingerie places. You know, they take a visit down to the lingerie. They want to come back home. They want to, show some excitement to their husband, so they go downtown to visit the lingerie store. And I'm sure when she come back home, she's not going to have no modest apparel. You feel me what I'm saying? So now, what's about to happen, because the people have got into the world, the things of the world. So now we get ready to take the content out of what the Lord has placed for us to be holy before God. In all things, in all your ways, you be ye holy. Now, how are you going to be ye holy? If you coming home to, they said in the Old Testament, they knew each other. So if you coming home to know each other, you know what I'm talking about. Where's your modest of pearl? Why did you have to visit the lingerie store? So what you get ready to do, you get ready to put a evil thought in your husband's mind. What he think about now, he see with this lingerie on. What he normally see when he see this, he see a whore. Okay? Normally when a man see a woman dressed like this, the first thing come to his mind is a trick or a whore, or some of this nature. I know y'all don't like to hear it because they do it a whole lot. But I'm just saying to you, you get ready to put a thought in your husband's head that he probably shouldn't have in his head, because when you go behind closed doors and you get ready to know each other, the man's supposed to have his mind on you, not what you got on. You tricked him. You let Satan came in, and when Satan came in, he allowed you to do these things. So now you get ready to put the marriage bed, what? Out of order. You get ready to start defiling the marriage bed. Now the Lord said the marriage bed is undefiled, but you are about to get started with defiling it. Okay? Just from your lingerie, just from your clothing, it puts a thought in a man's head about what's taking place. Okay? So now, when he see you, how you dress, his mind goes away from his wife. Now he's thinking about some chick maybe that he might have seen out in the world with this type of fashion on, and the things that he think that he might have wanted to do to her. But because you came in dressed this way, now he's thinking that he don't need to do it to her, he could do it to you. So now what he's about to do now is he get ready to defile the marriage bed. We're going to add a little something else to that. When you add music, normally when a man and woman come together to know each other, normally they go and try to put on the music, okay? When you put the music on, to me, you are now getting ready to invite the spirits of the other side. You know what I'm talking about. You're going to invite these evil spirits into your bedroom. What I'm saying, you actually have started to defile the bed when you went to the lingerie store. Now you're going to defile the bed by putting on the music, okay? Because now you're not entertained by your husband or your wife. You're being entertained by the music, okay? So now you're not doing things as if you see your husband or as you see your wife, because now your husband looking at you like he's seen somebody in the street, and both of you do not have the other party's bodily interest in mind, because now you are doing things according to the music. You see what I'm saying? So you are doing everything. So your husband or wife is pretty much blotted out your mind at this point, because now you're doing everything according to Marvin Gaye or the Ashley brothers. You know, you moving according to the spirit of the music, like what Satan did in the beginning to cause the angels to fall. So what I'm saying to you, you're causing your husband to fall with the same music. You're causing your wife to fall with the same music. It don't make no difference who put it on. You put it on. You put the music on. So what I'm saying to you, let's go to Genesis real quick. Let's go to Genesis 29:25 real quickly. Genesis 29:25. Genesis 29:25. We in the King James Bible. We don't touch no other books. For whatever reason, we do not know. We do know, but we ain't gonna get into that right now. But we can explain it a little later in another message. Genesis 29:25. I did take a few notes today because a lady had called me about that. She thought I needed to put a few notes down. You know, so I had to do a lot of searching. So I took her advice, as Moses did with his wife's father, which was his father-in-law. Genesis 29:25 says that, and it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laman, what is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore hast thou beguiled me? He talking about Satan again. Why you did what Satan did here? You beguiled me. You tricked me. What had happened here? When he woke up that morning, when Jacob woke up, he noticed that he had slept with Leah. Why? It was probably dark when he went in unto her, so he couldn't see her lingerie. I'm pretty sure he probably didn't have a radio. So when he went in, Jacob had the idea that, you know, it was Rachel in that room. And he knew the love that he had for Rachel. So he didn't need anything else to help him out. You follow me? I don't need my wife to buy lingerie. I don't need her to present herself in some type of fashion, because I'm going to be excited just about her, you know, just her alone. You should be excited. I don't need to put on no music because, like I said, when you love somebody, you know, these things don't need to take place because you're in love with the woman or you're in love with the man. So the lingerie is not needed. The music is not needed. So that way you go into your husband or your wife with holiness. You see what I'm saying? You're going in to make love that the Lord had put you two together for. You know, like I said, you don't need all this other entertainment. It's unnecessary, and actually it caused you to start defiling the bed that the Lord has said was undefiled. Okay, then let's look at something else. I want to look at Romans 1:27 real quick. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are familiar with that scripture. But we're going to go there real quick to Romans 1:27. Okay, and likewise, also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burning in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. What was meat? So they are erring. They commit a lot of errors. So what the Lord is saying here, verse 27, this is Romans 1:27, and likewise also the man leaving the natural use of the woman. Okay, so what he doing then? Why is he leaving the natural use of the woman? Because of what? The lingerie? The music? It's causing him to what? In his mind, he's moving away from what? The natural use of the woman. What's the natural use? To make love to the woman. There's certain places that you make love with the woman. Like I said, there's going to be a little x-ray. There's places that men want to tamper with the woman. That's what. And likewise, also the man leaving the natural use of the woman. He don't want away from the natural use. So now he want to play with other places. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He want to play with other places of the woman, leaving the natural use of the woman. And these things were what? They was burning in their lust one to another. This is not good. This is not good. You have to find what I'm saying to you today. You can't defile the marriage bed. The marriage bed is defiled depending upon how the husband and the wife go about it. What I'm saying to you. So the man leaving the natural use of the woman, it's like, maybe a couple things we deal with the woman. But, I'm saying there could be 3. The other one you're not supposed to mess with. Okay, let's keep going because I got some more I want to add in here. And likewise, also the man leaving the natural use of the woman, burning in their lust, one towards another. Okay, here we go right here. Men with men, working that which is unseemly. Knock on wood. Men with men, working that which is unseemly. So now they're trying to do what? They're trying to run a train. They're trying to run a train on a woman. Doing that which is what? Unnatural. Unnatural use of the woman. They're doing things with the woman that's unnatural, which is not of God. Okay? So now, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving to themselves the recompense of their error, which was meat. So, we see here now that you might even have what we call swingers. They turn all of the stuff they have went in and defiled the marriage bed that the God had put in order to for holiness. They have defiled it by what? The lingerie. You don't like it? Sorry. The music. You don't like it? Sorry. Men with men. 2 men coming in with a woman. Don't like it? Sorry. Putting things in places that they ought not to put things. You don't like it? I'm sorry. You have defiled the unmarried bed of God. The bed that the Lord has put for you, that He said that He sanctified it, you defiled it with your actions, with your evil thoughts. Now, verse 28, let's go to Romans 1:28. It said, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. So, like I said, in this point, the Lord has left the place. He gone. He's not in your bedroom no more. He gone out of there. Because you have taken the holy woman and man of God, have taken what the Lord has made holy. The Lord done left the place. He done left the place. And even as they did not attain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which was what? Not convenient. Now you're doing this on a regular basis. In the church, you holy, paying your tithes, going to church, confessing Christ, doing all manner of things that you call of the Lord. But the Lord has what? He has left the place. God gave them over to a reprobated mind. So now what? They think they can do what? This continuously. They think they can do this on a regular basis now. So every night they get together, guess what? Oh, the marriage bed is undefiled, Minister John. Oh, no, we can do what we want to do in the bed. No, you cannot. Not according to the word of God. You cannot do what you want to do in that marriage bedroom. It's not so. You can't do it. One lady came to me one day and said that where her pastor, she said her pastor does a what you call it, self-satisfaction type of deal. What I'm talking about, and she told them this in the church. I said, well, now why would a pastor tell you something like that in church? I said to her, if I see that pastor, I take this book and take it and hit her upside her head with it. If I see her, if she says some nonsense like that, talking about you can do all this kind of stuff about some self-satisfaction, you can take care of yourself. If you don't have a man, you got a hand. No, sir. Where are these people coming from? I do not know. But anyway, you cannot do self-satisfaction. You cannot do your instruments. You cannot bring your instruments into the bedroom. Your sex toys, what I'm saying. You have defiled the marriage bed that God has put together, that you shall be ye holy in. You have defiled the marriage bed of God if you are conducting these activities